What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I just got back home from taking care of some business, and of course, I am just catching up with all the news and stuff, and I want to bring you everything that we've got. Right now, we have the combine workouts that are going on right now. I was trying to be back in time to go ahead and live stream during that. Unfortunately, it's already going on. So, and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I've not eaten anything all day, so I'm actually going to go up and do a live stream cooking dinner, um, some curry shrimp. Yeah, Jamaican curry shrimp. That's going to be good. But regardless of that, we have to deal with the issues that are going on with the Dallas Cowboys right now. And um, one of the problems on our offense, I believe, was actually Blake Jarwin, who is a better blocking tight end than Dalton Schultz. He was injured um, in October, I believe it was. He spent most of the time on injured reserve for the season, came back for the playoffs, and he only ended up with 11 catches on the season. And that was one of those other pieces that hurt the Dallas Cowboys. When we looked at 12 personnel, when you have Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz, the team played much, much better with having the two of them because both of them could catch. And of course, Blake Jarwin was better at blocking. It turns out we've had, of course, typical off-season surgeries and things that have gone on, but we're finding out about Blake Jarwin back in February, just a few days ago was February, had hip surgery that will keep him out at least to the start of the 22 season. This surgery is considered very uncommon for an active NFL player. All of a sudden, your warning flags start going up, and then that starts getting me thinking. Let me go on a little bit more about what we've got from this, and I'm going to add something that from personal experience. Jarwin suffered the hip injury in October and spent much of the 21 season on injured reserve. Returning to playoffs, he finished the year with 11 catches and 96 yards, 2 touchdowns in 8 games. Undrafted free agent. Wait a minute. Jarwin had appeared in all 32 regular season games during the previous 2 seasons, totaling 58 catches, 672 yards, 6 scores. It earned him a $22 million extension in 2020, but has not lived up to it because of the injuries. So Jarwin will carry a $5.9 million cap hit for 22. And the question is, this is one of those things, and we don't know. We don't know exactly what the hip injury or to the extent of it is. But from what you're hearing, this is shades to me of, Bo Jackson ended up having a hit, which seemed like just a routine hit that ended up sidelining his career. And for those of you who don't know, Bo knows. Bo knows everything because Bo Jackson was playing baseball, he's playing football. Bo Jackson was the most gifted running back that you've ever seen in your life. And unfortunately, we were deprived of him having a long career because of a degenerative hip. I want us to also think back in recent history, of course, about Tyrone Crawford, who had double hip surgery just a couple of seasons ago and truly was nowhere near being an NFL player again after the surgeries. And from my own personal experience, I can remember, God, I cannot remember. I played football at JMU. Okay, I can at least say that I played with Charles Haley, and of course, I'm going to use that. It's my claim to fame, of course. Okay, seeing Charles Haley before he was a Dallas Cowboys Hall of Famer or a Dallas Cowboy great or a San Francisco 49er great, knowing him and knowing what he put into being the guy that he was, to me, I think it was actually a unique experience that I'm very, very proud of it. And this was the infancy of JMU sports. JMU was a women's teaching college until 1973. They started out with club football in 1980, and by 85, we had a couple of really good players. We had Gary Clark, who of course went on to the USFL and then eventually to the Washington football team, being a Super Bowl winner and a great wide receiver. We of course had Charles Haley, of course, the first man to win five Super Bowls with San Francisco and Dallas. We also had the kicker who missed the kick for Buffalo. against the New York Giants. And maybe had he made that kick, we don't talk about him a lot. Maybe if he had made that kick, maybe Buffalo would be a lot different than what we know now. But we also had we had a couple of guys that I think would have been incredible NFL players. One was Doug West, who was a nose guard, who unfortunately, tragically, fell off the back of a pickup truck in training camp head first and had brain trauma and died. Doug West was one of the most gifted big men. When you talk about a fire hydrant for a defensive one technique guy, Doug was it. Doug was about 5'10", about 300 pounds back when there weren't a lot of guys at 300 pounds in 1985. But another guy who was really gifted we had was Adam Burkett. He was our right tackle. Adam was about 6'3", about close to 300 pounds if he wasn't 300 pounds. In fact, there was rumors that the New York Jets actually wanted him to be their offensive tackle. Adam woke me up to being a defensive tackle the hard way, because I remember briefly being hit in the ear hole and launched sideways because I stood up in the hole thinking I was going to tackle Warren Marshall. He came down and pulled and launched me. But Adam Burkett mysteriously had a hip injury out of nowhere. And it was a degenerative hip that literally, he had surgery on it, and he never could play football again. And it was one of these mysterious hip injuries that, you didn't see him get hurt. You didn't see anything happen. And in the same way, Bo Jackson, when Bo Jackson got his hip, it was like, okay, that's no big deal. It's Bo bounced right back up. So this may be the case with Blake Jarwin, and it will be interesting to see how the Cowboys handle it. Michael sent me a link about the Cowboys are interested in re-signing Dalton Schultz, which would make sense because, they already had Blake Jarwin under contract. If they're already saying, because here's the thing about the Cowboys, we always see everything rose-colored in the perfect scenario. We hear that, Neville Gallimore, he's only going to miss like 3 weeks, and he ends up missing like 11. Tristan Hill, he'll be ready for training camp, and he only comes back for the last 6 games. D-Law, he'll be ready to start the season. Yeah, but he's not a full go because of the shoulder. We always are told the best case scenario on injuries. But they're already talking about him missing the start of the season with the hip. So that means now you're talking about Dalton Schultz going as a free agent and losing Blake Jarwin and cutting Amari Cooper. And Michael Gallup might not be ready. This all of a sudden makes you rethink, we may need to bring back, because this may be a situation where they end up being able to get some cap relief because of Blake Jarwin's injury status. That you can't cut him right now because of the injury, I don't believe, but it may be you get the exemption because he'll be on the PUP list or something like that. So this changes how we will probably be dealing with Dalton Schultz. So yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, I'm hungry. I am starving. Okay, I mean literally, I'm starving. So I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna get these shrimp cooked, and I'm gonna see you guys in a little bit. All right, peace.